Hey YouTube, it's me, I'm back, and I'm ready to make another video that probably won't be very entertaining to anybody, but that's okay, because maybe you actually will like it. Maybe I should be a little more confident. Anyway, I guess this is my first booktube video. I actually tried to make another one, which was a big long video about all my favorite books, but my camera messed up the mouthing. Like, I just filmed it normally, but then when I rewatched what I filmed, my mouth was not in sync with the sound, and that was annoying, and I figured nobody would want to watch that because it's annoying. So, unfortunately, that video is lost, and at the moment I don't feel like redoing it because it took a lot of time, and yeah. Anyway, I am trying to make a booktube video. Keyword trying. Right now I'm sitting in front of my closet and I'm wearing a Frozen shirt. I did tell you in my intro I like Disney. And this is my, I don't know, I like to do this or that. But I don't know, I'm weird. Anyway, let's get to the point. This video is about books that I'm currently reading and books that I own that I hope I will get to soon. So let's start with what I'm currently reading. The novel I'm currently reading is The Good Earth by Pearl S. Buck. I'm only on chapter 5, and my bookmark is just a used post-it that had my schoolwork notes. Yeah, so I've only just started chapter 5, so I've just started this book. I also read the little introduction. Usually I don't like to read introductions because they have so many spoilers, and I really, really hate spoilers. But for the most part, this was just background information, and I love background information. And when it started talking about the actual plot of The Good Earth, I just kind of skipped over that part of the intro so I wouldn't know too much. Because I like going into a book not really knowing what's gonna happen. Same with TV shows or movies. I don't want to know all the plot twists. I don't want to know the spoilers, okay? So, this is the novel I'm reading right now. And I can't show it to you because it's an audiobook, but I'm listening to the LibriVox audiobook of Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass. I read some of that, I think my freshman year in college, and no, I don't know. I read some of it in various classes in college, but I never read the whole thing. So I've wanted for a while now to just read the whole thing. But I'm not, I think poetry is great, but I'm not as much of a poetry person. I'm really a lot more of a novel person. So I feel like with poetry for me, if I listen to an audiobook, then I don't know, that's my preferred way of reading poetry because then I'm doing something else while I'm also listening to poetry. I'm sorry, poetry fans. I like poetry. I think it's great, beautiful art, but I just don't get as into it as I get into novels. But yeah, in Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass, one of the poems is, "I sing the body electric," and I just love that phrase. And I mean, it stood out to me because I watched a while ago the episode of The Twilight Zone that's called "I Sing the Body Electric," which I think Ray Bradbury wrote that episode, and then he wrote a short story with the same title, and so he got that from Walt Whitman. And I mean, it's very different. That episode's about a robot grandma, and that's not what Walt Whitman's poem's about. But I don't know, I just love that phrase. So anyway, reading Good Earth, audiobook of Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass. Then more slow reading, I am reading Knowing God by J.I. Packer. I am a Christian. So this is the kind of book where, like, generally when I'm reading theology, Christian life sort of books, I don't get through them very quickly. I just read a little bit at a time because I think that's better anyway to, like, really think about the things it's bringing up and that sort of thing. So I don't get through these terribly quickly. You can see where this is how much I read, this is how much I need to read, and I started it in like January. Yeah. And when I was getting busy at the end of the school year, I kind of left off reading this. So I need to read some more of this summer. Then I'm also trying to finish reading My Brother's Keeper by Mary Stuart Van Leeuwen. I don't know if I pronounced her last name correctly. This was something we started reading in my Psych of Gender class, I guess 2 semesters ago, because this semester just ended. Yeah, we read about half of it, and I was like, well, we started it, so I want to finish it, because I'm a completist about books. I don't like to start reading and then I not finish a book. It really bugs me not to finish a book. So I have the syllabus for that class, so that way I can be like, okay, which chapters do we read and which chapters do I need to read on my own. So yeah, it's kind of interesting, but it's the subtitle is What the Social Sciences Do and Don't Tell Us About Masculinity. So yeah, there's some things about it that I think are really interesting. But again, it's not a novel, it's not a novel. It's not something I'm going to get through quickly. So those 4 books are the ones I'm reading right now. Then I have some books that I need to get to reading that I own. First is Voices from Chernobyl. I bought this for a History of Russia class, but then we ended up never getting to it. And I was like, I bought the book, so I want to read it, because that's just a waste if I don't. So I think this will, look, it was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature, so it must be good. And I actually don't know very much about Chernobyl. Like, I know it was like a nuclear disaster. Oh, yeah, the subtitle, The Oral History of a Nuclear Disaster. But yeah, and Russia, yeah, so basically I've had this for a while now. I think it's been over a year. But eventually I'll get to reading it. Then another book that I bought my freshman year for a sociology class that we never read it. It was Jesus, My Father, the CIA, and Me, a memoir of sorts. So I need to get to reading this. I hope it's good. It's the back. Somebody on the back says that the author's a brilliant writer. So, yep, probably good. I don't know if this is a specifically Christian book or not. It has Jesus in the title, but I don't know if the audience is supposed to be Christian or not, or if it's just, I don't really know what audience this is directed at. I don't really know anything about it except that I bought it for a sociology class. No offense to the professor, but I really didn't like that class very much. Anyway, and then my friend Julia gave me this book, Caring for Words in a Culture of Lies, which she gave me a while ago, and I still haven't read it. But yeah, this is a book that I should read soon too. It takes longer, I guess. Now, I have lots of books to read. The ones I'm showing you are not all the ones I have that I need to read. They're just the ones I'm hoping to get to sooner. That might not happen. But yeah, those are the 3, I guess I have another nonfiction book in here, but those are the books that I think might take longer to get through, because they're not, I don't know, maybe they'll be really interesting. But then, some other books that I have. I want to read Gertrude Stein's 3 Lives. I got this at my book sale that the English Club was having. I was in the English Club. Yeah. So all I really know with Gertrude Stein is her poetry that is kind of weird. Some of her poems, they're not really my thing. But it said on the back of this book that aside from it's a novel rather than poetry, and it said it's quite accessible. So that I was like, okay, maybe I'll enjoy this. I think it seems pretty cool. It tells the story of 3 working class women I'm just reading from the back now. Anna, a conscientious but rigid serving woman. Melantha, a worldly wise and sensitive black girl. And Lena, a gentle but feeble-minded maid. Like, I don't know, I think this will be interesting to read. So maybe when I finish The Good Earth, maybe I'll start on this one. We'll see. But I've got that one. And I have Nathaniel Hawthorne's House of the Seven Gables. I've read The Scarlet Letter and a number of his short stories, Young Goodman Brown and Rappaccini's Daughter and The Birthmark and The Minister's Black Veil, and I think some others too. I think there are some others I'm forgetting. But I've never read The House of the Seven Gables. My mom says it's really good, and usually if my mom likes a book a lot, I'll end up liking it too. We both like classics. And I don't know, it just sounds cool. Like, look, hypocrisy, witchcraft, murder, and betrayal are the recurring themes in The House of the Seven Gables. It is the story of a curse. Like, I don't know, that sounds awesome to me. So, I'm excited to read that too. Then I've got Surprised by Joy by C.S. Lewis. I love C.S. Lewis. But this isn't, I don't think this is really like focusing much on theology. I know it's the shape of his early life. I know C.S. Lewis is quite a reader, so part of what I'm like excited for is to see what books he mentions reading. I think he will, because flipping through this I just saw Quo Vadis, which is a book that I have read. I read that in, I forget if it was high school or if it was the summer between high school and college. I don't know. I read it. And I know that he liked, oh, let me grab this book. I know that he liked Vice Versa by F. Anstey, which is a book that I read like on my own in my high school years. And I think I read it 4 or 5 times because I really liked it. I feel like it's not a book that would, like, everyone would love, but I just really, really liked it. And I still think it's funny and enjoyable, and I don't know. I like it. But I wouldn't recommend it to everyone, but I like it. But anyway, I am excited to read Surprised by Joy and learn more about C.S. Lewis's early life. I usually like hearing about people's, like, authors' childhoods, and especially if they're in, I hope that this is synced up and that my lips are moving correctly. I think it's lagging, but I'm still gonna make this video and post it. I'm sorry. It's gonna be annoying. I'm sorry. So, C.S. Lewis. Surprised by Joy. No, it doesn't have any reference to his wife. Anyway, next book. Looking Backward. I got this one. Oh, and I also got these two, along with 3 Lives, at the book sale that my English club was having at college. This book I don't really know very much about. I know that it used to be required in humanities 203, 303, one of those classes which were required at my school. I know it used to be required, but when I took the class I didn't have to read it, but like I remember one of my friends had to read it when she took it a different semester. A semester, like, it was before I took it. Anyway, the point is, I thought this looked cool because it's about time traveling, apparently, and I really like time travel. And yeah, so I don't actually know a lot about it, but I know that a lot of people read it at my school, and I mean, if it's got a Dover thrift edition, it's gotta be a classic, right? And I love old books anyway. And so I don't, look at that cover, it's like optical illusion. I don't really know much about it. I think there's a character named Julian. That's like all I know, and the time travel thing. But I will read that eventually, and hopefully that'll be interesting. Then I have 2 books that I got for Christmas. One is The Italian by Anne Radcliffe. I really like Anne Radcliffe. I read and I own The Mysteries of Udolpho, and I also read The Romance of the Forest, which I took out from the library. And so I was like, I want to read the Italian, because those three, the two I've read and this one, are kind of known for, cell phone. They're kind of known for being the most readable of her books. I know she wrote, I think she just wrote 2 other novels, which are not, I guess they're not as readable. Maybe I'll eventually read them. And then the last one is Lady Audley's Secret. This is the other one I got for Christmas. By the way, I love Oxford World's Classics. I just, because I love classics, and I love world literature, not just English, although I love English literature, and I think these are both English literature right here. I'm pretty sure that both the authors were British English. But anyway, sorry. But anyway, I'm really excited to read Lady Audley's Secret. So I have a good number of books here that are waiting to be read, and I have even more than just the ones I told you about. Plus, I'm sure I'll be visiting my local library quite frequently. I have lots I want to get out from there. But yeah, this video, I guess, is coming to an end. Now you know what I'm currently reading and what I hope to read soon. You know a little bit about my tastes in reading. You know I love classics. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. And I'd love to know what you're reading, and if you've read any of the books I mentioned, if you liked them or not, but no spoilers. And I hope you have a lovely day. Goodbye!